Hi, I'm Martin Kelly, Quaker ranter here, and some days I make videos, and some days I have guests. So today I have Raye from Ohio Yearly Meeting Conservative living up in New England, and part of, now what is this committee again? The Evangelical, not evangelical, Electronic Outreach Committee. Mm-hmm. And you were telling me about some of the deliberations you've had about video. And sharing videos with folks out there. So what have some of those, you started telling us about it,
right.
me about it, and
okay, I'd like to share with other people. Ohio Yearly Meeting, where we hold our yearly meeting, is in Barnesville, Ohio, because some people just recognize it. Oh, those Barnesville folks. We have an electronic outreach committee, and that includes the oversight and ministry associated with our website, and also we spend time really thinking about how to open up to people who might be interested in Friends' ways and who might want to know more about us, whether or not they've ever read the Journal of George Fox. And so we're trying to really expand our witness, if you will. One of the questions that has come up in this electronic outreach committee is what types of communication or what types of video are both useful for someone to get to know us, but respectful of the fact that we do worship, and that worship is a spiritually intimate time. And so that's one of the things that we're trying to bridge and to deal with, is to respect the worshipers, the friends themselves, not put on a performance, right. And yet to try to communicate what it is that is very edifying, if you will, things that are very helpful in practice and worship.
Well, it's this whole, I mean, how do you give newcomers a taste of Quakers without directing them too much? And you have this even if you're just like starting a new worship group or something. Like it should be the worship that's the heart of it, but you also have to give them a little bit of a running start, prime the pump a little bit, and maybe have some gospel reading or have some old Quaker reading that can sort of help get things moving. If you just have that silent, empty box, sometimes it's hard to know. Hard for newcomers, I think, to know like what should be filling that box.
True.
Perhaps.
True. And one of the things that Friends have done for hundreds of years is to publish, to keep journals, and to share that. But that's not all there is in the Friends experience. There are those quiet times, or there are those moments of ministry that we believe are Spirit-inspired, and they come up, and many of us wish that we could give people a little taste of that, because that doesn't really show up in a number of the published writings.
Right.
That spontaneous and timely and at times prophetic witness that we see in our meetings. It's very different. How do we communicate that? And we have considered digital video as a way to do that.
Yeah, I love this whole video possibilities here, and I'm working with it too, trying to figure out how we can use this in a Quakerly way. One of the things that has always struck me was reading the Journal of Samuel Bonus, who was an early friend,
yes,
but he was a second generation friend, so he sort of saw that early Friends movement maybe kind of falling apart a little bit, and so he wrote about how to do ministry as a friend. He sort of codified what was like the practice beforehand. But one of the stories he talks about was being very early in his ministry. He was like 20 years old or something. And he basically walked up to the next town, and thousands of people came out to see what he would say, because at that point Friends were being jailed and everything. So it was going to be, a great sport to see like what would happen when this crazy Quaker came up to town.
Right.
And I'm just thinking like, wow, you could just like walk to the next town and like get thousands of people that you could share Quakerism with, and there was the sport of it there that people would also be, you could share with lots of people. And how do we do this today? I can drive to the next town and, say, hey, I'm a Quaker, and everyone would be like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But maybe with video, this is a way that we can start reaching out to more people. We can just post this, and maybe someone will search in YouTube for what we're talking about. So,
that's right.
And how can we get out the Quaker message and let more people know about it?
Right, because it's not just anything that can be written. Certainly, the writings and what's been published are very, very helpful in getting some sort of a glimmer of where we've been, and in some cases of where we are headed or where we are. But there's nothing like that experience of being with friends in a meeting, and when it doesn't always happen, but there are these moments. You may have heard covered meeting, or gathered meeting, when there really does, everybody seems to be in the same place spiritually, and when there do seem to be messages and gifts coming through people, and that is very difficult to get across. And we're hoping that somehow with video, even if we can discuss these kinds of things after the fact, again, we want to be respectful, because we don't want to turn it into what seems to be a spectator sport or a performance.
Right. Well, authenticity is a key
Absolutely.
part of the Quaker message there.
Absolutely.
You're not just practicing what you're going to say for first day, for Sunday.
Right.
You're actually just sort of sitting there, and you're waiting for that immediate spirit
Right.
to come upon you.
And we don't know when that will happen. There are meetings where everybody's very quiet. There's a sense of that spirit and a sense of that unity. But there may be an outwardly very quiet meeting. Or there could be meetings, for example, I have been in meetings where someone stood up and began to sing their message, or sing a psalm. Someone had a wonderful sermon that was just perfect for the moment. Okay, these things happen, and we don't know when they will.
Right. And also, I'm just thinking about some of the times where, like, I felt like I am sort of being given a message, and I'm kind of resistant to it.
Yes.
And then the person right next to me stands up and gives that message.
Yes.
So sometimes you can have these kind of like, ooh, this is, there really is this message coming in.
Sure.
From outside there.
Sure. And we don't force it.
Great. Well, nice to hear a little bit about what Ohio is thinking there in terms of getting the outreach out and electronic. And
Sure.
I'm here as a Quaker ranter, trying to get people to think about how we can use this internet and maybe find new ways of reaching more people that way. So some days I make videos, and some days I have guests like Raye, who came from Connecticut. So if you're interested in this and you're Connecticut, then we'll have links to emails or something so people can get in touch with Raye and keep checking back. We'll be having more interviews and all sorts of things here.
Many blessings.
Many blessings. God bless everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.